Most IELTS students stop speaking long before the full 2 minutes in Part 2. That's a Band 6 habit. In this video, I'll show you how to always fill the full 2 minutes and give you 3 frameworks that make it simple. Let's get started. One of the most common and easily fixable mistakes that students make is that they are not speaking for the full 2 minutes in Part 2. If you don't know, in Part 2, you are presented with a question. You have 1 minute to plan what you're going to say, and then the examiner tells you that you should speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm here to tell you that you must speak for a full 2 minutes to get a Band 7 Plus on the speaking exam. First and most importantly, if you stop early, examiners simply don't get enough language to judge your fluency, vocabulary, or pronunciation. Second, speaking for a full 2 minutes interrupted is challenging. It's meant to see if you are able to produce connected, relevant, and coherent language. If you can't, you're limited to a lower band score. If you can, and can do so without struggling, you've unlocked the possibility of a Band 7 Plus. Finally, being able to successfully complete this long turn is specifically mentioned in the IELTS scoring bands. At Band 5, you are unable to do it. At Band 6, you are able to keep going and show a willingness to produce the long turn. At Band 7, you can do your long turn without noticeable effort, and at Band 8, you are fully fluent. You can see why it's so important that you do not stop. So, how do you make sure you can keep talking? There are 3 frameworks you may see recommended as you prepare for IELTS speaking. Try them all out and see which one you like the best. But if you need the help, definitely use one. The first framework is PPF, which stands for Past, Present, Future. For this, you can talk about what happened before, what's happening now, and what might happen in the future. This structure automatically makes expanding your answer easier. Now, this is one I see recommended a lot, but I think it might be difficult to apply to some questions. The second framework, and the one I recommend for Part 2, is the Triple E. The Triple E is explain, example, emotion. To use this, you would first explain your main idea, then give an example from your main idea. Finally, describe your emotion or reaction to what happened in the example. The nice thing about this model is that it's expandable if you finish your answer early. You can easily go back and add another example or describe another emotion or reaction. This makes your answer natural and complete. Finally, another answer framework that I recommend is the IDEA method. This stands for introduce, describe, explain, and add an example. I usually recommend this for Part 3 answers, but it can work equally well for Part 2. This model is perfect for logical, clear answers. You introduce the topic, describe it in detail, explain why it's important, and add a concrete example. Before we move on to the demo, if you want help assessing your speaking, comment free to get my free IELTS speaking checklist. If you'd like detailed feedback, book a mock test with me at kevinteaches.me. Now let's try a live demo using the past, present, future model. While I've shortened the response for this video, you can still see how all the parts come together. We have the question. Describe a useful object you own. Using the PPF framework, our answer may look something like this. When I was in high school, I got a simple digital watch as a birthday gift. Today, I use a smartwatch every day. It helps me track my fitness, manage my schedule, and even reply to quick messages. In the future, I think smartwatches will replace phones for many tasks. I'll probably rely on mine even more. Now, obviously, we need to add more details to each part to hit our 2-minute goal. But once we have the framework for our answer, it's easy to add to. You can see how the structure makes it easy to keep talking. Let's do the same with my favorite framework for Part 2, the Triple E. Here's how it might sound. One of the most useful objects I own is my smartwatch. I rely on it every single day because it combines so many functions in one small device. For example, it tracks my fitness, reminds me of meetings, and even lets me reply to quick messages without taking out my phone. Last week, I was running late, and the watch reminded me about an appointment that saved me from missing an important meeting. I really appreciate it because it makes my life less stressful. Honestly, I feel a little lost when I forget to wear it. It's not just a gadget, it's like a personal assistant on my wrist. Again, notice how this structure gave me a clear flow. Explain, give a real example, and then add emotion. Building out from this framework easily fills 2 minutes and, more importantly, personalizes your answer and makes it sound natural. Now it's your turn. Take this cue card. Describe a place you'd like to visit. Set your timer for 1 minute of prep and 2 minutes of speaking. Post in the comment which frameworks you used and if you made it all the way to 2 minutes. Here's the takeaway. You must always fill the full 2 minutes. Use past, present, future, Triple E, or the idea method, and you'll never run out of things to say. If you found value here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who's stuck at Band 6. Also, connect with me on Facebook, where we're building a community of students preparing to ace their IELTS speaking test. Until next time, happy studies.